I've got the post-CanJam blues again. Very sad that it's over, but oh so glad that it happened. CanJams are held all over the world in some absolutely terrific places and are the place to be to both try all sorts of absolutely incredible headphones and gear, including a lot of stuff that gets unveiled and shown off for the first time at these events, and to meet and hang out with other members of this fantastic community. And so myself, DMS, many other members of the Headphones.com team, and a hell of a lot of you guys made our way to the Golden State.
Now, Golden Sound and I were running around like crazy with our cameras, trying to capture whatever we could. We did a bunch of short little show impressions videos. You've probably seen them up around. Some are shorts and some are just short videos.
From Axel Grell, who you'll probably know if you have an HD800 or an HD... Should we do that again?
One of the early things we checked out was the new Grell headphone, which, Cameron, I think you tried that one first.
The Grell headphone was interesting. Axel Grell, for those of you who may not know, is a big name in the audio industry because he is the man behind, among other things, the Sennheiser HD600 line and the HD800 as well. And this is an independently produced headphone which is quite unique. The driver is not just angled, but actually physically at the front of the headphone, firing back at your ear. A few material choices that are quite reminiscent of the HD800's cup, and it was pretty resolving and technically proficient, as well as having a soundstage that is substantially larger than you might expect. We've got a slightly longer impressions video up if you want to go and watch that. Unfortunately though, it was let down quite a bit for me because of a substantial treble peak.
I have to agree, and I said this in the video too, I feel like there's a bit too much treble happening somewhere in it. It's a presentation I'm not familiar with, but it also did some really, really cool psychoacoustic effects. I'm curious to see where this evolves into, and they did also say this wasn't the final version. Another interesting thing we saw was the Mass Kobo amp. I can't afford that. I cannot afford that. That is very, very expensive. Will I buy that? No. Was it amazing? Yes. I specifically got to try my headphone on that, and I really would love to have one at home now. That was definitely one of the most hyped items at the show.
On the note of both hype stuff at the show and, well, you've gone and said it now, you got to tell them what you've been working on.
So the cat's out of the bag. I made my own headphone, and that was at the show too. We're going to have an actual video on this at some point, probably on my channel, where I just go over the whole details of this thing, but the short is, it's a headphone that I made, that I'm making in New York, and I'm only making them for 1 year. Why? Well, it's my love letter to audio and everything I want in a headphone. It's lightweight, it's tuned to diffuse field with a 10 decibel downward slope, it's dynamic, punchy. I won't rant about it forever, you can see what other people say about it, but yeah, this is my little 1-year project, and this show is where people got to try it for the first time. I wanted a lot of feedback, and the response was super positive. It was really, really great to see people excited about something that I've put so much time and so much of my life into making. But there were a bunch of other new things there too. Odyssey had the MM100, which, hey, I got to take a unit home, so we're gonna have a review out on that actually really, really soon, and like maybe in the next week or so. MM100 versus MM500, and yes, they are actually comparable in a number of ways. Cameron, you had a chance to try the Austrian audio headphone. I put my ears on it for a few minutes, but you spent more time with it and also learned some cool things about the amp, yeah?
Yes, Austrian Audio, who, by the way, their core team originally came from AKG. They were there showing off 2 new products, their Composer dynamic driver headphones, which those are going to retail for about $2,700, and their Full Score 1 solid-state amplifier, which will go for $1,500. It's a pretty large amplifier, fully discrete, no ICs or op-amps in the signal path at all, and it's got something which they are calling true transient technology. When you turn this option on, it ups the bandwidth of the amplifier to 2 megahertz. Now, that's quite a bit. I'm very keen to get this amplifier home on my desk, get some proper listening time and some proper measurements of it as well, which we will be posting. But what I can say from my time listening to both of these at the show is they were quite rightly some of the most hotly discussed items there. The headphones were very fast sounding, very resolving. They seem to have quite good sub-bass extension, at least from what I could tell on the show floor as well for a dynamic driver headphone. And I couldn't pick up on any obvious flaws, no particular shoutiness or obvious peaks, so those are definitely one to look out for. And as well as the sound, the build is among some of the best I've seen. Incredibly well constructed, I think they look fantastic, and they also offer some additional features that other headphones don't have, like the ability to rotate cups to suit your head. They also use a dual banana plug connector, which I can't quite decide whether I love or hate that.
We also filmed an interview and talked over at the shit booth about the Midgard. After the interview, Cameron and Jason talked for a really long time, and I decided to go and check out some other stuff. I went around to the Woo Room where the Abyss guys were set up and tried out the new Diana MR, which I actually liked that quite a bit. I mean, I used to work at Abyss a few years ago, so I guess take whatever I say with a grain of salt, but it was the lightest feeling Diana I've ever felt. The comfort was pretty nice, and it kind of sounded like an upgrade from the Diana V2. They also said that one is significantly easier to power. And they also now have a vegan ported bass pad, which that's right up my alley. After checking that out, I went back into the showroom floor, and Cameron was still talking to Jason over at the shit booth. Very unsurprising.
Hey, stop bullying me. I can't help it. Jason is a very interesting guy to talk to, and Shit Audio has some quite exciting products coming up in the pipeline. If you want to hear a little bit more about their new Midgard amplifier, which, as well as just being a very low distortion amp in and of itself, hence why it's replacing the Magnus, they say that it can potentially cancel out some of the distortion produced by your own headphones, then go and watch the interview that we did with Jason. Myself, Blaine, aka Mad Economist, and Oratory 1990 also did a seminar at CanJam titled Myths About Measurements, which we did record. Unfortunately, someone was talking about some food that they'd enjoyed recently right into the camera as it was recording. So we're going to refilm that one at home, and once that's done, that will be up as a standalone video on this channel. If you're interested in learning a little bit about why measurements are useful, misleading, or sometimes just downright hard to get the right answer, make sure you hit that shiny red subscribe button down below.
But we also got to do an Ask the Reviewers panel with myself, Cameron Z, a couple others. That was pretty fun. It also gave me an excuse to ramble about how much I love CDs and how consistent they are. I mean, come on, you can't tell me it's not annoying when you go on a streaming service and you go down to a track, you click play, and it says, this track isn't available for streaming. I still use streaming for discovering new music, but if I really like it, I'm going to buy a CD, because that CD is never going to be unavailable for streaming. Take it out of the case, you put it in the CD player, you press play, you're good to go. It's going to be the same every single time.
But of course, the gear at CanJam is amazing, and it's so much fun to get to try all of this fantastic stuff. But what I really look forward to the most about these events is getting to go to these fantastic locations and hang out with friends from all over the world. So for SoCal in particular, I like to make a bit of a vacation out of it. I don't stay in the hotel, I stay with a bunch of friends on the beach for about a week, and we get up to plenty of fun outside the show too.
What? Every year, Cameron also has a taco night. I don't know how much I can tell you about that, but it's just a bunch of people from the industry. They're all friends, and we all get a bunch of tacos, and it's awesome. And every year it's the same tacos, and they're delicious. And I'm hungry now. What time is it? Can I get lunch yet? Oh, I'm definitely getting lunch right after this. It's always great to see Cameron. It's always great to see Z. It's always great to see a ton of people from the show. I love seeing the Deconi guys, everyone else, my companions at headphones.com. There's just so many people at the show that I wish I could see more often, but I'm really thankful I get to see them the few times a year that I do. And the same goes for all of you, all the people who attended the show. It's great seeing your faces again. Each time I come back every year, it's like, hey, I know you. I really live for these shows. A lot of my best friends in the industry I only get to see at CanJams. In fact, a lot of those people I'd consider some of my best friends, period. But also all the new faces that keep coming. I hope these shows keep growing. I hope this hobby keeps growing with it, and I hope that in, 20, 30 years, I'm still at these shows getting to hang out with you guys. I say this every time, but I really feel like this was the biggest CanJam ever. And every time, it's the biggest CanJam ever. Again and again and again, these events keep growing.
And the bigger that these shows get, the more reason there is to come. So many amazing things to try with new surprises each time, and I can't describe how awesome it is to hang out with so many people in this fantastic community.
Oh, I also gave away just like a big bag of random gear that I had. The only price to pay is they had to say subscribe to the Headphone Show. A steep price, I know, but free audio gear. See it right there. Yeah.
All right, subscribe to the Headphone Show.
Yeah.
I'm not looking. I'm looking.
Okay.
I'm looking dead into his eyes. I'm not looking dead.
Enjoy.
Hold on, I'm fondling your sack. All right, wait. Do I want something that's like a cable?
I don't know. You have so many audio things already.
I'm gonna give it away to someone else. Who wants to say they love headphones.com and they should subscribe to the Headphone Show?
There you go.
Nailed it.
You subscribe to the Headphone Show. You just got a headphone.
I definitely do that.
Oh, give me back those. Oh, he does already.
AirPlay deck if you have an iOS device or Apple device.
That's cool.
Subscribe to headphones.com. Make Andrew smile.
Really?
I hope to see a lot of you guys at CanJam New York in March, and if you want to talk to other Wiggly Air enthusiasts right now, come and say hello on our Discord server or the headphones.com forum. That was DMS. I'm Golden Sound. You're watching the Headphone Show by headphones.com. See you next time.